Hello, storytelling. Right, I'm doing I'm making more beasts, creatures for my game for the Lord RPG game. That's right. You can have monsters. In the Apostles of the Epoch and Christian Space, you can have genetically modified mad scientist AI, mad AI, worshipped as gods, creating these things. Here we go. Look at the. I just drew these this morning. I was just doodling. I'm kind of a doodler. Just getting things done here. Big gnashers, like sort of these are like space hulks or something. I'm working on this big lizard dude. I noticed in Star Wars they have these like big giant lizard looking things. I haven't. You see that? The sketching part of it? Yeah. Anyway. Oh, I gotta fix that monitor. I can barely see that. Okay. Oh, and I got I did that. I got these guys. Look at that. I forgot to. Oop, what? Oh, it's inside this. Where are we at here? Okay. Got some cool creatures here. I haven't made tokens out of these yet. But I gotta remember to do that. What is this? Oh yes. Oh wow. I made some other creepy I forgot I drew these. I doodled these a while ago. I gotta finish these up. Okay, I got some stuff to do here. I just forgot about that. And then I got what else here? I got some rat mutants. These are very cartoony. I don't know, if they're gonna be humanoid or not. Like intelligent, well, they're definitely semi-intelligent, but I don't think they're savable. I gotta work on some more robots. Just to have options and good or bad. What's this toxic stuff? Oh yeah, these are I just made these for an ape. That previous video I did with the APOC, these are the creatures I doodled for that. Creepy flying things. There's some. This is from Sievert, Zero Sievert. There was a game on Steam that I was messing around with for a while. Post-apocalyptic game. I like the creature in there, so I do that. This is just a silly little hulky version, and then this is a big crocodile, sort of looking John Carter of Mars style. Working on some soldiers, a little goofy, but just like players or NPCs. Okay, so that's some stuff I'm working on there, and I want to show you now how I draw or create the beast monsters and how relatively simple and open-minded you can be about them all. I have a bunch here on the side here. Let me just give you an example. It's Ape Mans. And I just use I don't know what that is. I use a very basic Foundry, setup to do it. But this is their basically their stats, their traits. This is the defense. Then the save is the armor save to reduce the damage, and then vigor is their hit points. And a tough is just me describing kind of what their armor and defense is. Defense for everyone starts as a 12, and then you add the aware to it, which is your dexterity, awareness, situational awareness thing. You add that to it, and then you can add a shield, which is +2, +1, +2, whatever you think the shield is. A helm can be +1, or a greater helm +2. And those are pretty much the only things I add to defense. It's in the rules. And that's basically like armor class is to get hit. But even after you get hit, you get the armor save. So the game does have a few more dice in the mechanics, but you only get one action and one maneuver. So it does go quickly, and as soon as crits start happening, grievous wounds, monsters or players get penalties to their rolls. So, the GM adds the penalties however he wishes, affecting the rolls. The players do not mess with the penalty die when they get wounded, grievous wounds. The GM takes that and adds it to his side. Adds it to the defense of the creature or whatever the difficulty of the task they're trying to do. So, and then here I just have, so they have an attack. The Claw Bash is based off the prowess of 4, which is like their strength. +4. 1 die rank, so that's another D4. And then to hit, so they get +4 and a D4. And then the D8 is the damage. And leap, climb, swing, fast. So I just kind of aware that during the game they can do all that stuff. I might even give them a die rank here and there, like on defense, because they're leaping, climbing, and swinging fast, or to beat them, chase after them, blah, blah, blah. Howl for more. So 1 per group, D4, more show up in D4 turns. So they get 1 howl in their group, and in D4 turns, D4 more. So it could get more and more. I mean, you might max out how many there are, but they could call in others as resources. So that's probably their biggest danger if you've got pretty decent characters that can, shoot at them and kill them, and they're attacking and stuff. I would definitely have a denouement for these guys. If a few of them are getting killed, they'll probably run off angrily and maybe wait in the jungle or ruins to attack them later with a sneak attack or something. Dodge 1 die rank. If seized, can add 1 die rank to defense versus melee and shots. Okay, so there's that. That's the leap, climb, swing fast thing there. So I can definitely give them this as part of their defense if they're staring at him and looking at him, when they're charging or attacking. And the one die rank is a D4. 2 die ranks is a D6. 3 die ranks is a D8, etc. Okay, so that's the 8-man there. I got a bunch on the side, but this video is my intent is to actually start new, create one from new, because I actually have a few. I'm trying to get this West Marches going, so if you guys would like to join in, let me know. Join our Discord, and then we go through the Apostles' Creed. I was gonna say something like Apostolistic Creed or whatever, Apostles' Creed or something with you. No, we gotta be hardcore Christian evangelist, wanting to learn this. Okay, so I have a bunch of new creatures that I've drawn, and then there might even be some new ones in the older stuff. But I have a tokens 1 and tokens 2 set. This is the tokens 2, and I didn't make this guy yet, so I'm gonna work on this silly looking dude here. Oh, you know what? I think I did. I know where he is. Available on Amazon.com. Let me see if I can find it. Actually, I think I did make this guy. When I was working on the. Maybe I didn't. I don't see it in here. I should show you what I'm looking at. Oh gosh, got the Mutant Marauder. Oh, that's the Biodread, which is like Tyranids or Zergs. Different planets and stuff. I don't think I may have done it. I just don't remember, man. I've made so many, different creatures in here, and I put them throughout where they are in different planet encounters. For the Christians in Space, this is the campaign book for several planets and space stations and mines and adventures and slaves and oppression, because pagans are going to oppress and atheists are going to enslave. So that's what Christians do. We go around and stop all that with our church history. Okay, let me just have some fun here and make the Bloodgra. The Bloodgra. All right, so let me type in Bloodgra. Now, it could be a small Bloodgra or a big Bloodgra. But let's go with the Bloodgra. I feel like I don't know. Bloodgra. Alrighty, and I gotta make it I should explain to you what I'm doing. Okay, so first I obviously get what I'm doing here is I'm using the tile. This is sort of my own personal way of doing it. I like to use the tile one to look for it first, the things I need, token-wise, and then get the name of it, and then I open up the create actor so I remember the name and I can find it easily. It actually goes to the same. If you have this open, when you do the tokens, it'll actually open up to the same thing as when you're doing the tile sets here. This is the tiles, by the way, for placing on the map, like map tiles. But if you have that open like that, I noticed that for tokens, it'll open up the same folder, so that's convenient. Now I need to make I just picked the first one for the basic token image, but I need to make this, since I have a variety there, I need to go to open up the prototype, make sure it's prototype, because that's the original. Because if you drag it into your window here and then open it from there, it becomes its own, clone of the prototype, not the actual prototype. So you gotta make sure you're working from the prototype, so that's always the original. Okay, appearance. I go here and I randomize wildcard images. Click on that. I wish it was a little more intuitive than this, but it is what it is. I wish I could just click on that and that's it, but you have to actually go in here, find this. It's so weird how it's broken up here with this 20% thing here. And you got to go to that and put a little asterisk. Replace the 1, Bloodgra 1 here. Ignore the 20% and replace the 1 with an asterisk. I'm surprised of all the things they haven't. If there's a simpler, more direct way of doing it than that, please let me know about the randomized wildcard images, because that's how you got to do it. It's kind of weird. I mean, that's the naming conventions and all that is placed. Okay, so let me make this creature. I don't know. I don't have anything for it yet. I don't even know what size I want it to be. I just want to take a look at it next to the characters. Now, this is the hex map crawl. These are like 30 mile, where they can go, and each map has its own battle map that they can go explore and figure out what's going on there. What little plots going on, whether it's survivors or creatures or whatever. And their goal is this right here. Make travel safe, find and convert survivors, plant a church. And that's actually church history, really, if you think about it. That's how we created the Western culture, and how Christianity, Western culture is only the 1/3 of Christendom that survived from the Islamic conquests. But we have, and we've flourished in. Anyway, okay. So I just want to pull this token out. Let me close this because I know it's not in here. It's in the bottom here. Blah, blah. Move that to Beast 2. Okay. I just want to move it in here just to see if that's the size I want it to be. Or do I want it to be a little bigger? I kind of think it is. I envisioned it being that size. Like a giant, like pig size. But for the fun of it, I'm going to look at it. I can actually move it. I have an add-on that just does the brackets. It's a mod add-on, which I don't know if they've improved that or not, or I can do that. I'm going to go with the smaller one. I can change the size of it too. All right, let me just put that back to 1. Even the image doesn't hold up with that size. I mean, it was kind of meant to be around the size. Okay, and I can always, make them a little bigger. Actually, I kind of like that. That's kind of scarier. Yeah, let's do that. So that right there is it. Let me see what I did. Now here I'm just looking at the one in the screen, and I just want to see what I did there. I did 1.4. Okay, so this is the prototype. I got to go to the prototype though, and make the size. Now what I'm doing here is not important if you're not using Foundry, so I apologize. I'm just doing what I'm doing. All right, let's get back to the creature here. Now I like to see it visually there, that size and all. I don't need that anymore at the moment. So let's figure out what this thing does. Well, it's pros is prowess. I mean, it's a bit. I'm going to give it a 3 for now. Aware. It's got those stalk eyes, so I'm going to give it a 4. Very aware. I think what it does too is it sort of sits there like a rock and watches, until something comes by. I don't consider it to be fast. It's just more of that surprise, like a bullfrog or something, or like a snapping turtle. So it's got a good aware. What's it? Savvy? Minus. I'm going to say a dash, and a dash to me means it doesn't do anything for savvy. What else? Spirit. Spirit, I'm going to say 2. Now, spirit for an animal is not spiritual. It's their bravery. It's like that's their +2 to resist denouement, surrendering, fleeing, and all that. So that's kind of what I use for creatures and their spirit. Intellect is, I'm going to say they're kind of intelligent, but I base it off of animal intelligence, not human. Social is 2, but it refers to them with others around them. So there could be like herding or groups of them around, that kind of thing. So think of it that way when you see their traits like that for creatures and beasts and stuff. Okay. Defense. Defense is just off the bat 12 plus 4 is 16. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna say the rest of them has this. I don't consider their body to have a helmet or shield. The aware of 4, even though they're kind of slow, they're very aware of what's going on, and they can clamp down and sort of deflect things and avoid it. So I'm gonna say 16 because they're really good. Shell. Defensive. Turtle-ish. Just a note for me to remind me of kind of what they do. Turtle-ish. Save is, how many is it? So chainmail is D6. Brigandine armor is a D10. D8, sorry. Plate mail is a D10 and D12. I'm going to say these things are a D8. Just like a thick carapace flesh on the top there. And vigor is, let's say 18. They're pretty tough. They're pretty, whatever. Pretty tough. 16 is a tough human, tough man. 16 is a tough or, exercised military person, and they can go to 20. You can go higher than 2. It just costs more glory points and more exercise and more tougher regimen. Okay. So what does this thing do? Well, basically it does the hiding thing in the rocks and stuff, but it does a big bite. So I'm going to call it a big bite. Big bite plus 3. Now plus 3 is not that much, right? But it's going to be based off of its surprise. So that's going to come in here in a sec. So I'm making this a little fun and tricky. So just keep it big bite 3. It's a plus 3 normally if it's not surprising you, right? If it's right in front of you. So it's actually it's a little harder for it to bite you because of it. Look at its shape and stuff. It's got a big butt. It's got a big mouth. So I'm gonna say a D. I'm gonna say a D10 bite, and I'm trying to think. Does it clamp down and hold you, or does it chew? Like, does it bite until you're dead, kind of a thing? I want to think about that. Does it have armor piercing? I don't think it has armor piercing. What's unique about this big bite? I think it would clamp down. Clamp 5. So if it does 5 points of damage, it clamps down on you. And so then, if it's a clamp down, it would be a pro 15. So I'm doing 12 plus 3 of his prowess to break free. So you have to, if you get attacked by it and it clamps down on you, you have to beat a 15 to break free from it. If you don't break free, fail, take D10 each turn, because it's just and so it doesn't have to hit you anymore. Just keeps tightening and crunching and whatever. But the other skill is it's camo and ambush, right? So that's where it has +4 because of the aware, and I'm going to give it 2 die ranks. For skill, terrain, instinct, terrain, whatever. So versus aware, And when I say versus aware, they could add their search or scouting or anything like that to that roll, as long as it's an awareness roll. So if the creature gets higher, that DRR goes to DRR adds to hit. So if they win and then get a if they roll higher by, let's say 6, half of that is 3, so they get +3 die ranks to their attack. So +3 big bite plus 3 die ranks, which is a D8 to try to clamp down on you. Now, how does this work with, say, the characters, and you don't want to tell them that these rocks are blood bras? I would just say, I would roll it secretly, this part, and then I would tell them, all right, roll as you're scouting around, looking around the area. And I would compare the numbers. Now, this is kind of low, usually, because they usually get pretty good rolls. They're usually high, 2, 3, 4 die ranks. But I think that's okay. I'm going to leave it, because it could work. And, they're going to just, you see these rocks there, but some of them don't look like rocks. They look more organic. Some of them look like they have teeth slits or, in there. So that's pretty much, I think that's it. I don't know if I need to do anything else here. Let's keep it simple. Blood raw. I don't feel like I need to do anything else with this. I like to do that, make it bold, and the major points are bullet points. Is there anything else interesting? I could say how many there are. Usually a pod of d12 plus 2, situated amongst rocks, amongst boulders. Slow, fast for short distance only. Only retreats, turtles, cunning. You know, something like that. That's pretty much the creature right there. I mean, you know, I obviously could, in the story, create different characteristics of them, what their location is. So I put the vigor here, 18, and their defense, I just put in this first number here, 16. That just shows me this here. That's the defense on the top, and 18 is the vigor. This one, oh, that has it too now. Okay. Wait, oh, it's supposed to show me. There we go. Variety. Those are big. I would probably use my brackets because I have a plugin to make it a little smaller. But imagine these things in the boulders. They're just waiting. Their little eye stalks sort of camouflage. Their eye stalks look like, you know, black pebbles just sitting there. But you notice they're all in pairs. And they slowly seem to move and follow you around. Okay, so that's that. There we go. Finally got those guys done. Let's go to another one. Pretty sure I did these guys. Yeah, I did do these guys. The Dinogs. I think the Dino Croc I have not done. Although I've done alligators. Oh, let's do this guy, the Gnarl Beast. All right, Gnarl Beast. He looks big. Gnarl Beast. I may have done these guys. I've done so many. I don't remember what I've done. All right, let me do. I already know. I can tell he's. Yeah, I want him to be two tiles. Pretty sure. Let me grab him. Gnarl Beast, and this will automatically go into the token. Put him in Beast 2 for my folders. Just organizing it. Oh yeah! And look, I made these little appendages there. All right, the Gnarl Beast. Boy, he looks semi-intelligent there, doesn't he? All right, Prowess 7, Aware 3, Salve. I'm gonna say 2. Like he could probably open doors, you know, with his appendages there. Blah blah blah. Not fix things, but kind of, you know, relatively smart. I mean, use common sense when I put trait numbers there. Use what you want. Use common sense. I'm making it up as I go, kind of a thing. Intellect 1. I'd say 2. Oh, Spirit. I think Spirit's after. Spirit 3. Social -3. Okay. Defense is 15. 12 and 3 is 15. But since he's big, I'm going to say -2, so 13. So big target compared to a human. Save, I'm going to say with the fur and the thick skin. So I'm going to say D4 plus D4 because he's kind of tough and brute. He's obviously a big size brute thing. So D4 is like the tough skin, the fur, and then the other D4 is the tough brute. So he gets, you know, it's a special power. The asterisk refers to adding on a second die, which could be power, it could be holy or unholy, it could be a brute kind of a thing. Power refers to like power armor, power hammer, power like, you know, energized or whatever, like a lightsaber or whatever. Okay, and then his vigor is, I'm gonna say this guy's pretty good, 24. Okay. Or let's do a little higher, 32. For some reason, I like go to 18, 22, 24, 28, 32, something like that. I always do those numbers. Okay. Sorry. It's kind of like a cross between a rhino and a crazy alien thing. Okay. It looks intelligent though, the way I drew it. Okay. It was orange teeth. That's interesting, and orange eyes. I don't even know why I did that, but anyway. Okay. What does it have? It has. I can't even stomp. I guess. Charging stomp. And what's the rearing stomp? Charging stomp is going to be pretty scary. It's going to be +7 +1 die rank to hit. Blast D4. What does that mean? It means that he can get a couple of people within a roll a D4 within an area because he's just charging through. So I'm going to say D10 plus D6. The D6 is the brutal beast thing. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do that. D6 here. Yeah. Brutal beast plus D6. So a bear has a D4. So this is obviously bigger and scarier and more alien than a bear. So I'm going to say a D6. Blast D4 is just and when you roll a blast D4, it has to be within an area of the creature. And also, whenever something has a blast, this makes it scarier. Oh, let me do that instead. No, I'll keep it the way it is. This is scarier. Whenever something has a blast, if it actually hits its main target, it can add the D4 to the damage. So this makes it even scarier, this charge. Plus this is a charge, so this is going to be a D12. I'll keep it the way it is. Just keep it the way it is. Okay, blast D4. The nat 20 or crushing. Very, very scary. +7, D8 plus D6 there. That's rear stomping. +7, D8, D6. Crushing. Reaction. All right, what does this all mean? The charging stomp is the scariest part. Because if it actually, no, let me just put it a stomp because he has a charge as well. So let me put this back down to D8. And this to 1. I'll explain it here in a sec. Okay, brutal beast. Charge +1 die rank to hit and damage. So if he charges, that'll make this stomp +1 die 7 +1 die rank. And this is a D10 plus a D6. Right now it's a D8 plus D6. D8 is like comparable to a hammer. Well, two-handed hammer is a D10. So I could make this a D10, but it's I'm gonna say it's just soft, But the D6 is added, so that's the difference. Besides, the stomping is heavy, but it's not like a metal hammer. Still dangerous. D8, D6 can still kill somebody, a regular person. Okay. Anyway, in the blast D4, if they hit someone, that the main target will take an additional D4. Everyone else that's potentially getting hit is taking the normal damage. The normal damage. Crushing, if they roll a 19, it's double damage. Crushing here, rearing stomp. Rear stomp is a reaction if they're getting attacked by other characters behind it. All right, it's a brutal beast. See, so this thing is pretty scary. I'm just doing like silly combat ones right now. I'd like to do this. The gnarl beast. Let me see. I wish this formatting stuff would say like this when I put it over to the PDFs. Okay, so there's my gnarl beast. Rear stomp. He has the piercing. Piercing limbs. Okay. +7 +1 die rank. +7. All right. What is my thoughts here? So if something is down, I gotta roll here too. Yeah. Knockdown. 6. Pro or aware versus a 19. So you got to resist pro aware 19. If he does 6 points of damage, I'm doing pro aware 19. That's 7 plus 12 is your resist or your knockdown. So if you're knocked down, piercing limbs will jab at you. Piercing limbs. I'll write that in the notes here in a sec. D12 plus D6 piercing. If knocked down. So this will do this on you. I'm not D12. The piercing is like a spear, so D8. It needs to be, yeah, that's fine. I'm wondering if it needs to be something different. Lethal? There we go. Lethal 5. So if he does 5 points of damage, it means it's you automatically will take crits, or you'll get grievous wounds because of the piercing. There it is. I'm sorry, I'm just looking. I'm trying to decide if I want him to be sort of like you could talk to him, like a no, back off, or whatever. Like a rhino, could you? Yeah, I think we do plenty of talking with people. I'm not going to worry about the animals or beasts. Okay. Oops, that's wrong. Okay, 32. No, that's right, 32. This is 13 for the defense and 32. So the gnarl beast does all this. So it does a stomp. The rear stomp is just a react if they someone attacks them they get to do that as a react. Piercing limbs only happens if something is knocked down in front of them. That's it. I'm just doing basic scary beasts. All right, let's do one more, then I'll let you go. Oh, rackworm. I just love beasts, just love rackworm. Very simple like that. Okay, rackworm. Oh, I got this Grog X. I should do him. I'm gonna do him next. Rackworm. What size do I want him? I'm going to say 3, 2. Pretty sure. Put this in with Beast 2. There we go. Is that big enough? Scary enough, or should I make it bigger? Ooh. This will be like against vehicles. I mean, either size is scary. Like this could be against vehicles, humans, or vehicles. And remember, in the game, you can do both at the same time, vehicles. So, I am going to, just to be scary, I'm going to go ahead and do 4. 2.5. I think that works. Let's see if that works. Oof. Let's go with the big one, because, let's go with the big scary one, okay? Okay. Pro 9. Yeesh. Now, prowess doesn't necessarily mean... Just because something's bigger doesn't mean it has a bigger prowess, because it could still be kind of weak in the way it attacks, and you just add it to the damage. So I'm going to make it go back down to a 6. So his prowess is not that crazy, but its damage is going to be pretty big in that sense. So I could do its prowess higher, but I'm going to keep it there. It's kind of interesting. That's because that's for to hit anyway. All right, aware. I'm gonna say this thing is kind of oblivious to things. I mean, if it's hunting, it does it, but otherwise, it just sort of sits there, and you can sneak, bump into it, and it'll, take it a minute to react. Savvy is nothing. Spirit, no fear, nothing. Intellect, nothing, and social, nothing. So we don't even need them. So I'm just going to do those two. Yeah. Okay. Defense is 10 because it's very easy to hit this big creature. I'll make it 12 because it's a snake-like thing. So it's big, but it's snaky. So it could be a 10. Yeah, it's 10. Probably pretty easy to hit it. Thick. What? Where is it? Thick. Cave skin. So save is going to be a D10, like Brigadier armor. Vigor is 44. Okay. One thing I like to do is have them have, based on their prowess. I think that's what I'm gonna do by default. Is that's how many grievous wounds they can handle. Six die ranks worth of grievous wounds. I think I'm gonna do that way. Don't have a rule like that, but you just kind of have to decide for yourself how many grievous wounds they can take and absorb before they die. For a human, it's 5. 5 die ranks past 5, they're dead. This I'm saying 6 past 6, so 7 die ranks. They can't. They're 2 wounded and they die. I'm gonna probably note something here like it's got it super tough. Some creatures I note that. Okay. So defense is a 10, relatively easy to hit. Armor save is a D10. Plus, I'm gonna do a plus D8, man. Brutal cave beast plus D8. D10 plus D8. Oops. So yeah, it's got Brigadier armor, but it's thick cave dense material. So this thing requires almost like a mounted weapon battle, right? Bite is plus 6. D12 plus D8 damage. I feel like that's all I need. AP, armor piercing 2. And gigantic serpentine crush. So if anything is near it, it can do a react attack because it's squirming, crushing people up against the walls or whatever. So it's a react thing. Plus 6, D6 plus D8, react. If anything's near it, even a vehicle could, knock them to the side. That it? That's all I can think of at the moment. Keep the bite simple. Just keeps biting things and crushing it. Okay. That should be a fun giant beast. Rackworm. I could come up with other details or specific neat things, or its awareness, tremor sense, or something like that. But yeah, I made it aware 0 though, so it's sort of like oblivious until you come near it or bother it. Okay, it's 44. Defense is a 10. Oh, the grievous wounds. Let me see. Yeah, this absorbs 2 die ranks of wound per attack per round. So if it takes a bunch per round, it can't deal with that much. So 2 is per round. 6 die ranks total. Oh, the Grievous ones. That's what I'm referring to there. Well, it's, that much tougher. Oh, let me do this. Yeah, I know what you can. You can find. Yes. Okay. Intellect 22. Extract DRR text spice plus 3 DR. What does that even mean? Because text spice is really cool, but 3DR text spice, because all text spice is all just good in and of itself. Oop. I think I got a delivery. Hold on, let me go make sure that my dog doesn't bite it up. I'll be right back. But we're talking about text spice plus 3DR. Okay, I know. Instead of the text spice plus 3DR, they can extract a power crystal. I'm doing like a lightsaber thing, but I'm trying to think of what this would be though, because we don't have lightsabers. Well, we can have power swords in the game, but I kind of want it to be like, yeah, potential power crystal. Yeah, used. No, known to be used for power swords. I don't really have a power swords. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, for sure. Definitely gonna have power sword type things, but power crystal, known to be used as a power unit for lighter melee weapons. AKA the power sword. Power blades. Power sword. Something like that. Anyway, let's keep that there for now. Okay. So that's kind of a cool treasure they could get out of this thing, this creature. All right, one more, because that's all I really want to do. And this is obviously the Grog X. Is from Book of Boba Fett, which I guilty-ishly really. Oh, I was about to say love. I really like that film. Or show. I know it's been dogged severely, but I like it because it reminds me of what I'm doing here, and it's sort of a nice influential thing. And it's just cool because it's not about saving the galaxy or anything or some epic thing. It's just about a crime. Small micro storyline with that whole element of crime and stuff like that. So I just really like that concept in sci-fi. There's not that many shows like that, or whatever. But it was just a fun kind of sci-fi western. I'm kind of bummed that it got dogged because and all the libertarian YouTubers I watched that critique films, only because. They said, they kind of hindsighted a lot of things, but in the story, you're not going to be well prepared. You're not going to make always the right move. And they made fun of like those jet hover bikes they had, the kids, the modders, had those sort of 50s looking chrome. I thought that was fine because kids tend to have things that we don't like as adults. Like they tend to do flashy things like that. Anyway, all right. So this Grog is. Creature prowess 8. I'm gonna say 9, man. This thing is scary. Prowess 9. Aware 3. Aware 1. Salve. It can do a little bit of salve. Just opening things, breaking things. Spirit 2. Intellect 0. Social -2. Okay. No. Is it loner? If it's a loner, -4. Okay. Defense 13. Tough hide. So save is D4 like leather. And vigor is 44 again. Okay. Pretty tough-ish. But not a good armor. Not a good... Oh, it's a brute, though. So... Plus D8, yeah. It's I would say D6. Not as... yeah, D6. D8. Okay. It's a big thing. Now, what's it got? Oh, it's got these... Okay. Flurry... Fistaclaws. Flurry Fistaclaws. There we go. Plus 9. Makes sense with 4 limbs like that. Plus 9. D10. Plus D8. Grapple. No grapple. Well, grab. If it grabs one, it's going to get less attacks, less, but holds on to someone. So grab. Grab 1 per 1. Trying to think of something interesting here. I'm going to say it's not that... Yeah, I'm going to reduce this damage to more like a bludgeoning. Grab 4. So, pro aware 21. So you have to beat that to get free from it. As it grabs you, each grab reduces attacks, reduces to hit by 3, by 2, 3. Yep. All right, what else? Bite. Plus 9. D6 plus D8. No, he's not going to bite him. Well, he could. Plus 9. D8 plus D8. Any it has grabbed only. React. Okay, so he does a flurry of Fistaclaws, just a D6, D8. If he does grab 4 points of damage on somebody, then he grabs them and they have 21 resist. Whatever that fail is by, if they fail, if you fail by, say they roll a 15, they fail by 6, so it's 3 die ranks. So that person is at minus 3 die ranks to fight back because they're, and I will roll that and add it to this guy's defense or whatever they're trying to do. If they try to escape again, that's even harder because they are basically grabbed by this, giant hands there. But if it does successfully grab someone, it reduces his 3. It's to hit on anybody else that it does, but it can bite any that it has grabbed as well, and it's a react. So that's dangerous, right? It brings them up while it's swinging its other limbs or whatever. Or I'm going to say no. If it bites you, then it can't fight somebody else. So bite. Any it has grabbed. Forgo, So it's not a react. Thusly, it's either he bites him or does another flurry fist of claws on somebody else. So that's the choice. Yeah. That's better. It's not like multitasking here. I'm going to do a fear thing on this thing. Like this thing can roar. Roaring is very important in this game. It does a roar. +9. Resist or be at direct result. Next turn. So just one turn. Keep it simple. So it can, it can do one of these attacks, not all three. Roar. Oh, the roar is everybody, all within short distance. Resist or be at. Yeah, next turn. Okay. That's that. 44. 44. Anything special? Okay, I know what. Does collect salvage. +5 DR each salvage layer, but any gear found will be at minus D12 die ranks. Let's say minus D6. So what does that mean? So past 5, it is destroyed. He tinkers with them. So if they do find anything, I roll a D6, see how many die ranks damage it actually has. And if it's a 5, if it's a 6, obviously. If 6 die ranks, it is destroyed. He tinkers around with them. He plays is the right word. Plays with them. Something like that. Okay? That's kind of cool. Alrighty. There we go. There is it. I just made up a bunch of creatures, beasts, that I can use in sci-fi. In my sci-fi or in what's the other one I did here? I can use any of these for the post-apocalyptic game as creatures in them on their maps, or in the sci-fi as on the planets they go to and search around in and find creepy things and blah blah blah. So there they are. This FTLRPG, we get to have our cake and eat it too. We get to play role playing games like this and do evangelism, church planning in the storyline. And that's exactly what church history is all about. Confronting evil and beasts and paganisms and fears and the horrors and showing them that God is supreme and the Christianity is supreme and the church is supreme and civilizes the world and brings liberty and freedom to the world. And we need to return back to a church culture. If you want to know what the solution is. All right, in the game of life, everybody, roll holy dice.